All right, today I'm going to explain to you some of the examples that are commonly cited as giving evidence for evolution. We're going to explain what those examples are, what they try to show, and maybe some of the problems that these examples have. This follows along in the textbook section of Chapter 8, Section C. The first thing we're going to address is the idea of common ancestry, the idea that not just some living things, but all living things are related. If you go back far enough, you find out where they split off in their family tree. Now, there's limited common ancestry is fine. There's not really a problem with that. We believe that all humans came from Adam and Eve, for example. That would be an example of common ancestry. The difference in evolution is that they believe in universal common ancestry. All living things came from a one single-celled organism way back in the beginning of time. So they'll often draw pictures, such as this, or this. These pictures attempt to reconstruct the history of life, how these organisms came to be. So they will often start off with a common point, maybe simple organisms, single-celled creatures, and then as you go further on in history, you end up branching off, new species developing, and getting some kind of more complexity, new organisms, all right, and ending up with humans at the very recent time. The first problem with this is that we're reconstructing history. Doing that is always based on certain assumptions, mainly the assumption that things in the past work kind of like they do now. So as the time has gone by, the idea is that the processes we see now were happening in the past, and that those things continued up to the present day. All right, so when we're trying to make these trees, these ancestries? When we try to reconstruct these things, we look at where the connections are, the little branching points. All right, so and those branching points would represent what we call a link or a missing link, if we have not found them yet. Evolutionists call them transitional forms, and the idea is you're transitioning from one type of organism and you're about to transition into either two new ones or the old one plus a new variety. So the idea is that you can find some creature that's maybe on its way to becoming a new kind of creature. It has some features of the old and some features of the new. These things are problematic, they're difficult to find, and most of them seem to be fully developed organisms, not things that have halfway features.